Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And today we are checking out the Vostede Mini Nightshade. And I know what you were thinking. What the crap, dude? For a second, I thought this was an unboxing. I can see you all leaving in droves now. But here's the deal. This is a Vostede model that was released, I want to say, in the third quarter of 2023. We're now in the first month of 2024. Congratulations. If you're watching this video, that means that you made it. With that being said, this knife has been reviewed again and again, but I'm here to give my thoughts and opinions on what is possibly the most iconic Vostede design that's been released to date. And I'm excited. I've checked out multiple Vostede knives. I've checked out the RS Chaos. I've checked out the Vostede Morel. I've checked out the Valkyrie. I've checked out enough to know that Vostede is doing a lot right. And while I'm not doing an unboxing, I will say Vostede has some of the best packaging in the knife game. I love these tins. These tins are fantastic. If you don't know, now you know. They do it better than most people. You get the pouch with the patch on it. You get the tin with the cleaning cloth. Now, for those who may not know already, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the price and the specs. This specific one comes in just shy of $100, and it comes in S35VN with carbon fiber. And yes, this is real carbon fiber. It's no peel ply here. There's no need for internal milling on this because it's all carbon fiber with the exception of the shortened liners that house this crossbar lock. Other than that, it is aluminum backspacer with dual-sided aluminum thumb studs and a crown spine on this Schillen cutter style blade. And here's one of the best parts for those of you who like really light knives. This only weighs 1.6 ounces. The pocket clip is reversible. It is completely ambidextrous. Whether you're a lefty or a righty, you can in fact set this knife up to work out perfectly for you. It is running on ceramic caged bearings, and it does have a semi-deep carry pocket clip. And I'm going to say semi because the way that it's placed, you're still going to have just a tiny bit sticking out of your pocket. These carbon fiber handle scales have some light but very well done contouring to them, and the edges are nicely knocked down. We'll do a quick QC check on this bad boy. Blade centering. On this one, it seems to be good. No issues there. What about lockup? Well, lockup, yeah, that's perfect as well. You can't get a stronger lockup on this style of knife. There is absolutely no blade play up, down, left, or right. Now, being that it is, in fact, a crossbar style lock, there is no detent to speak of. That's not to say that it'll fall open in your hand, but it is light in that front. It is very easy to flick open, and it is very smooth to shut. It's not a huge knife, but I do find that I am able to get a full 4-finger grip. For reference, I wear a large size glove, and large size gloves are the average for male adults in the United States. We're looking at T6 body screws, a single-sided captive pivot, and a T8 pivot screw. This blade does feature a full flat grind, and it doesn't have a finger choil, but it does in fact have a sharpening choil, and we get a nice bit of distance between that plunge grind and the termination of the edge, meaning that if you do use this, you're not going to run into any issues when it comes time to sharpen it or put a new edge bevel on it to continue those cutting tasks. And trust me when I say this blade is perfect for those cutting tasks. Let me show you what I mean. I'll grab a piece of scrap paper here. So the Schillen cutter blade style is basically a leaf shape that is angled downwards. There is no recurve on this. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It has this really nice deep belly that goes from the termination of the edge all the way to the tip, and it allows for perfect utility cutting. Because of the blade geometry, you have a lot of time for this to get very thin behind the edge, and it stays thin for a while. A lot of people prize Spydercos for their blade geometry because While they might look funky, they do have a very similar blade design aspect where it gets thin behind the edge and it stays that way for a while. You're going to be able to slice like a pro on this knife, and you're not going to have any issues at all when it comes to cutting through, well, just about anything. I did mention that this specific one with the crossbar lock, the carbon fiber handle scales, and the S35VN blade come in at $99. If that's too much for you, or if you just want a less expensive version, they do have one that is $59 that has G10 handle scales and a 14C28N blade, which I think is a fantastic option for someone that's truly looking for more of a budget option. And then lastly, despite the fact that this has no jimping on the blade, the spine is crowned. And you know what? On a knife this size, I'm okay with that. I will take that trade all day because I get perfect grip on this regardless. And the crown spine just looks and feels premium and adds to the overall look and feel of the knife. That isn't to say that I absolutely love everything about this piece, because there is one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and you probably already know that I'm going to say it's the T6 body screws. It's 2024, okay? There is no reason why we should have T6 body screws anymore, especially when the community has been begging for a switch to T8 all around. You could 100% put T8 body screws on here. Not that that's a massive issue by any stretch. It's just something that I would prefer because it is easier usually to strip T6 body screws. And if you were to check any number of knife enthusiasts' Torx bit collections, you would probably find more than your fair share of stripped out T6 Torx bits. Now that I've said that piece, I do have a couple of things on my wish list for some things that I would love to see in the Nightshade series moving forward. And yes, guys, it is a series. I already know that many of you are heading to the comment section right now to say, you know what, that's cool, but it's too small for me and my XL sized hands. I get it. The good news is that they do have a bigger version of this, which is about an inch longer. It's the regular Nightshade, and you can get it in a more affordable version that costs about 60 bucks, just like with this one, or you can get the bigger version in a more premium availability that has LMAX steel for about 130, 140 bucks. So the options are there, but what I would love to see is a version, this one, specifically this one, with a top liner lock and in the bigger format. If you give me those two things, you would have a knife that quite possibly just exceeds everything else that they've come out with to date. This is by far a very good value, and I would love to see the market that likes slightly bigger knives be fulfilled in that aspect. I don't have anything against crossbar locks, but once you try Vosteed's top liner lock, like I have on the RS Chaos, which I will link in the corner above, you'll see what I mean. The RS Chaos's top liner lock is bar none one of the best locks that I've ever experienced, and I would love to see it on such an epic knife like the Vosteed Nightshade. But it's time that we have a conversation in the comments section down below. Let me know what you think. Do you already have one of these? If so, which one? If not, why not? Let's talk about it. And if you want to watch more awesome knife and EDC content, make sure to click on one of the videos that pops up next.